You're just in time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about those stories that have everybody talking.
We're joined today by Susie Falk from the Falk Group Public Relations. Jeff Wagner back with us also. Milwaukee Police Union taking a no-confidence vote today against Chief Edward Flynn. It is over the firing of Officer Christopher Manny. Chief Flynn says Manny broke protocol when he patted down Dontre Hamilton in Red Arrow Park. That then led to a confrontation, and Manny fatally shot Hamilton. What are your thoughts on this no-confidence vote?
I think, you know what, it's the power of the union, and we have a union. It's in their contract to do so, and I think that they should. And I honestly don't know how the vote will end up, but I think that Flynn had every right to fire this gentleman, and I think he's supportive of the union vote. So that's my thought.
Well, it's interesting. I think the police chief was wrong in what he did. It is no secret that, and if you look back at the history of police chiefs in the city of Milwaukee, there's been a lot of confrontation between the union and between the chiefs. I mean, most notably Arthur Jones, but this is nothing new, the fact that there's problems here. Here's the issue, though. The reality is we've got all sorts of tough battles when it comes to dealing with crime. And if the chief of police loses the confidence of the men and women who are serving under him, it makes his job a lot more difficult. I know the mayor and the chief are saying we don't care what the rank and file cops think, and I understand that that's the party line, but the point is, if it really does turn out to be an overwhelming vote of no confidence, and it's going to turn out that way,
somebody needs to be the boss, and sometimes the boss needs to be the bad guy. You're not going to be liked if you need to be the bad guy.
Yeah, which is something the chief has pointed out.
Well, that's true, but I guess the question becomes, if you're the why are you the bad guy? Are you the bad guy because you're making the tough decisions and doing the right thing? Are you the bad guy because you've decided that you need to cozy up, for example, to the mayor to keep your political power and keep your job? That's the question.
But that's perspective, because you have different people who believe the chief did what he did for different reasons.
Sure. Well, it's always going to be perspective. There's no doubt about it. I'm just saying that if you end up in a situation where the rank and file do not have your back, it makes it a lot more difficult moving forward to start putting in initiatives.
Don't you, though? I think one thing I'd like to say is there's a lot of good that can be had in a union, and I think that this shows that some unions are very valuable. Jeff, would you agree that the union's doing what it should in this case?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the union feels the chief was wrong in firing this officer. And by the way, this vote of no confidence is not exclusively linked to this. There's been a number of issues over the last couple of years that the firing of Officer Manny was just sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. The union is expressing its opinion, but like I say, I don't think this is going to have any direct effect one way or the other. It will be interesting to see how this plays out over time as we look at all the different issues we have in the community.
How's the vote going to come down?
Overwhelmingly, no confidence.
How many people vote?
Pardon me?
How many people do you think will vote percentage-wise of the union? That's another big question.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
All right.
It'll be overwhelmingly no confidence would be my prediction.
Yeah, we'll know tomorrow morning.
Coming up next, we'll reveal the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And Michael Fish is back with another look at a very chilly forecast of the day.
Again, we are joined by Susie Falk and Jeff Wagner from 620 WTMJ. Today's viewer's choice topic: a train struck and killed a pedestrian yesterday afternoon in Wauwatosa. This happened at the rail crossing near 68th and State Streets. Witnesses say the victim was jogging, tried to beat the train. This is the second death in 2 years at this train crossing. What should be done to prevent these accidents from happening? And this whole stretch of tracks along State Street is a problem. I mean, this is the second in a year. It's the third I can remember in the couple of years we've been sitting on this anchor desk.
But if this individual crossed right at that 68th and State, I mean, you've got everything there warning you of trains.
Right.
I don't know that there's anything more you can do, and honestly, I think more people are dying probably in traffic accidents around that neighborhood. I honestly do not know the specifics of that particular area, but my guess is that very few people die of train accidents, and sadly the ones who do probably are trying to take their own lives. So I don't think you can do much more unless this area is a serious problem.
I agree with you, Susie. There's a bigger picture, though. In the lead-in, you were saying it was somebody who was jogging, who had headphones on, who tried to beat the train. That's always a recipe for disaster. You know, we talked the other day about a couple of these recent car pedestrian accidents, and in many respects, it's kind of the same thing. You have people that are out there, in many cases, They're not paying attention. We're at a point now where it gets dark earlier. You know, you've got the weird sun angles and things like that. Trying to beat a train is never a recipe for success. And I think a lot of times when people are out there, whether it's trains or cars or whatever, you got to pay attention. You just got to pay attention.
Train's always going to win.
But I can't imagine the health department will say, let's create a campaign and do billboards. You know, don't run near a railroad track and try to cross before the train. I mean, you know, folks use some common sense. Teachers remind kids not to get too close to train tracks, and adults out there use some common sense.
Yeah, the 5 minutes or so you're going to wait.
Yeah.
Just
Spend the 5 minutes, yeah. Time for our lightning round now. Victoria's Secret Perfect Body campaign facing a lot of backlash. A petition is out demanding the company apologize for using the phrase perfect body. Many people believe the phrase promotes negative body image. They're actually talking about the line, but then you have these images here of women with the perfect body. So there are a lot of people who are, you know, they've got a new hashtag, and women are holding up signs and
saying they are the perfect body, and maybe they're not flawless, you know, and I am so mad at Victoria's Secret for this. We just had a speaker come to Nicolay and talk about perfection and what we have as parents have been trying to drive into our children's minds, that they have to be perfect, they have to get straight A's, they have to go to Harvard, they have to do 10 athletic things. You know what? That creates so much stress and so much depression, and I've got a 16-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and we have banned the word perfect from our house because nobody is, and actually I think she is, but we are sending such the wrong message.
But that's not what Victoria's Secret is selling. This is what Victoria's Secret is all about. You don't have Victoria's Secret doing plus-size models. You don't have Victoria's Secret selling. This is what the model. What? This is what Victoria's Secret sells.
They're selling sex and they're selling beauty, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and they shouldn't label it perfection, because that's
then, Susie, what you need to do is you need to start your own business, and you need to appeal to the other people. But this is what look. I don't necessarily condone Victoria's Secret, but this is the target audience they're going to. This is what their business model is, and other business models can arrive and come to different conclusions.
I want to see what happens between the two of you in the hallway in a few minutes here. We're out of time here on TV, though. The What's Hot discussion will continue in the hallway and online. Find it at tmj4.com/.